have to keep up with them on the rotations. You cannot let them kind of run circles around you on that map. You got to kind of force them to fight you. And if you can do that, you'll have a chance. The problem with that, even that approach is, oh, by the way, these 5 players in NRG are all insanely skilled themselves. So even that approach can be difficult, which makes them just so hard to be on this map, because if you try to fight them, obviously they have great skill. If you try to rotate with them, they can out-rotate the best of them. So, you know, it's kind of pick your poison. To me, I would try to force the situations where you get to kind of take those fights versus the game rotations.
Well, a big round for Ghost. They need to tie up this series. They need to force a game number 3. We'll see if they'll be able to do so. Deza was taken off the start. Nobody from NRG has dropped as of yet, so not a bad start for the side of NRG as they'll continue to push their way over towards Bravo. As you see, 4 players from Ghost are stacking up. They're going to be pushing through the left side of the map, and they're going to be met up against Solars, who has to hold his weight here. He'll be joined by Praise, but essentially they're going to be in a 3v4 at best. But I am kind of curious. Look at this play on the minimap. Explosive. He's putting at least Identives on the back pedal. As 2 players from NRG has rotated over, they're going to be capturing Bravo. NRG is going for the trip cap.
Oh, dude, so it makes this team tough, man. They can just run circles around a map. And again, a map like Vasgar is not your traditional map. The way the hills are set up, the spawns, it's very, very unorthodox, to say the least, right? So for that map, the way you can just kind of cut through the middle, cut through everywhere in sight, the hills, where they're positioned, this team can just do laps. And you're going to see that a lot of times. And like I said, the score's kind of reflecting it right now. They've just been owning the objectives.
I want you to really pay attention, especially at home. If you're look at this mini-map and look at the blue circles, which is in fact Ghost Gaming, and how much they're sticking together versus NRG. NRG will have a core 3, or at least 2 that will stick together, but they'll have those roamers. Look at player number 9. That's going to be explosive. He's by himself, and he's on A. He's already rotated over there. Ghost Gaming, they don't have anybody who's going to be there except Identis, who luckily is going to be spawning up. 2 different styles, Ghost sticking together. NRG sending those roamers out to kind of play around with those hills and force Ghost to kind of say, all right, well, we need to allocate resources over here. As soon as they do that, NRG is already rotating back to capture one of the other hills that have been left unguarded. They're playing this beautifully objective-wise, and Ghost Gaming, it's reflected in the scoreline, 69-214.
And here comes Ghost right now, hopping on some hills of their own. That's going to be 3 dead for NRG. Identims made a big play, needs to make yet another one against Mental. Mental looked a great first shot. Identims gets the knife, but is it enough? NRG hopping the hill at the last moment. Is it enough, though? That A-hill caps that will be around Ghost. Trying to steal this round away. NRG off spawn. Ghost is holding it down despite just being outplayed through the 90% of this round. They might be doing it, and I do believe they have. All 5 go down. Ghost Gaming clutch up in the nick of time. They get the wipe. And this, like I said, NRG was just doing laps, and all of a sudden, boom, Ghost hits him in the face. That's 5 dead. That's what I was talking about when I said you have to force this team to fight you. If you can do that, you might have a chance. They put the first round on the board.
You know, I gave all that analysis, and it just goes out the door. I mean, it's still relevant, but, you know, hey, the thing about it is, NRG, there's 2 sides of the coin, right? Yeah, they were playing objectively well. They were rotating in. They were sending those roamers out, but ultimately, with Ghost moving as a cohesive unit, they're running into, you know, 1 player from NRG or maybe 2 players from NRG, and then Ghost is having 4 or 5 to go against them, and it's tough to win those engagements. It's tough to win those fights, and I guess in the end, you know, the cohesive unit of Ghost Gaming sticking together ended up being the better strategy than the little roamers going here and going there for the side of NRG. Maybe, you know, the short-term gain point-wise, but the long-term gain overall for Ghost Gaming ended up being the better play. Now we'll start off on round number 2. Now remember, going all the way back to District, Ghost, they started up hot. They ended up taking the first 2 rounds. NRG then ended up sweeping Ghost, taking 5 rounds in a row. We'll see if that's going to be the same storyline here. Break is going to go through. Dezo on the back pedal. Mental, he's going to drop Dezo. Goes in and takes out Chaos. Not stopping there. It's another brick onto Identives. Dezo up close. And he will be able to at least turn up for the time being, or at least Explosives will, to take him out, as NRG did a great job winning those engagements. They're going to have control of A and C, and you see a fight down there for Praised and Solars for Bravo. If they can take this over, this could be a quick round.
You see him kind of toying with the idea of that trip cap. Praised and Solars trying to play a little more conservative. You can see Ghost hop on that hill, get the full cap, because on the other end, you're seeing Summons starting to get involved in the kill feed as well. They're continuing to sort of slay out that opposite side of the map. They're doing okay over at the tank. Towards the home hill is where NRG is continuing to drive. You see both Brazen and Solars actually just get right out of there, right? Go head over to where you have the resources, head over to where your teammates are. Obviously, Ghost Gaming can't hold that B hill because at the end of the day, if you have 2 hills, you're going to get more points.
Yeah.
NRG is kind of securing what they have.
Ghost doing what they do best, working as that unit, 4 players strong, down low on A. Going against 3 players from NRG, they're forced to back up. And with Ghost swarming in on A, they should be able to take it. Actually, NRG, though, is looking to go for Mr. Krabs for the trip cap. Of course, it's not going to happen as of yet as Ghost. They'll finally backtrack onto A. NRG has a nice lead, though, 160 and counting for just 71 of Ghost. So a lot of work. It's still an uphill battle for Ghost Gaming, but, you know, something they can do. I do want you to pay attention, though. Ryan Identivs, he's at 1 of 4 lives.
Yeah, and you can see, once again, another round where NRG comes out strong, gets a big old lead, and then somehow Ghost starts to slay out towards the later stage. Looks like NRG is going to be spawning back up. Monkey almost gets the shot onto Explosive, but it's going to be the captain of NRG who has the last laugh, and now he's moving forward. He's going for Sleeper as well. Both teams kind of hopping on and off hills. You're going to see Ghost trying to head back to C. Sleeper's going to end up being dropped, and now it's going to give opportunity for NRG to hop on C, have some action at both home hills. Chaos is their way, but there's just a wave of NRG players in front of him trying to make a play. Gets the flash in there, but it's quickly counter flash. Nothing he can really do without just taking a ton of damage. His teammates all trying to figure out what their move could be. There's 4 members of Ghost Gaming at this C hill. There's the first kill. NRG's going to try and retreat right now, of course, at the 225 mark.
And at this point, right, Ghost knows they need to get the break on A. That's going to be their only option, or at least get the full team wipe. Look at NRG, though, being sneaky. Player number 8, that's going to be Summons, rotates down to B. He gets neutralization. Player number 5, that's going to be Monkey, is going to be in a fight. Summons knows he needs to win. He might be able to do just that as Monkeys now comes in the mix. Monkeys with a great win. Explosives now will throw his hat in the ring for the fight. Ghost, though, still on the cusp. They could, in fact, take this over. They know they need to swarm onto B. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. NRG, though, just on the cusp. They finally get control over Bravo. If the break doesn't happen within the next couple of seconds, Ghost is going to lose this round. Is it going to occur? It is not. And NRG, by the skin of their teeth, will take round number 2.
That got very close once again. We saw NRG control the first round and kind of let it slip. We almost saw a bit of the same, but they do manage to hold on this time. A big kill by Explosive over towards the last remaining hill they had. Kept Ghost Gaming from getting that final break, and now we sit at a 1-1 scoreline as NRG decides where they want to put their second placement.
I feel like Vasgar just over time,
and even the placements too, like where they are, everything's just so oddly
it's
positioned.
But it's weird though, because it's over time we've kind of seen the strategy develop between teams. And kind of how differing they are. Like I said, NRG loves to send those roamers out and kind of just play around with the hills. Ghost loves to stick together. Obviously, NRG strategy has worked one round. Ghost has won another round. It's just interesting to see these different conflicting strategies, different conflicting styles come into play. And it just really matters at the time of the day of which one's going to take over the victory. It comes down to those crucial fights. But it also shows how strong NRG is and how confident they are in their abilities to be able to fight those 1v2 battles or those 1v3 battles, because they're okay with being on their own. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that break for C is going to be happening. 3 players against 2 of Ghost, or now it's going to be 3 rather, sorry. But it's going to be your typical fights off the rip. NRG looking as if they're going to be able to get that last touch on a Bravo. There it is. So they're going to have at least off the initial little point lead. Ghost, though, I'll get the neutralization back.
You can see once again this kind of push-pull fight at the C hill. Maybe a couple kills in favor of Ghost. It's going to be 3 dead for NRG. And tries to get it down to the zone, but he's going to be dropped. Solar's the last remaining member. Trying to stay alive as long as he can. He's going to end up being flanked in a second. He's going to get full chunk. That's going to be a triple cap very quickly. About a minute later, Taylor, Ghost Gaming strikes back to get their second lead of this map. Of course, trying everything they can to force that map number 3. If they can get past Vasgar against NRG, that would be huge for this team.
Oh, yeah, the force exhibit, which NRG is very strong on as well. But to tie things up would make things interesting, especially with going into this map. I would say NRG was probably the favorable team for Vasgar. And I really want to take a look once we kind of get onto the regular screen, the respawn economy, because I think it's a little bit low on the side of, I want to say Ghost, potentially. I think NRG has a little narrow lead. As I look through, yeah, Ghost, they're looking really well, I guess. Well, actually, NRG is too. I thought Solar's was a lot lower than he was, but he still has to be a little bit careful. These rounds could drag out, especially with the fast respawns. So Ghost can continue to throw bodies at NRG. Let's see how these next couple of fights will happen. And it seems as if Mental's going to push into Identives. He'll push back. Who's going to draw first blood?
You're gonna see once again, this fight at C2B is always so fascinating, kind of where it starts, where it finishes. Summons the party started with an incend. Identive's forced to retreat, otherwise he knows he could be next. Good job by him kind of being heads up and staying alive.
And Mental will, in fact, go over towards Charlie. He's going to lock that in place as Ghost will be spawning up one player. It's going to be Chaos. He's going to go ahead and retreat back down to Bravo, who will be met up as Sleeper absolutely goes in on Solars and Explosives, but he will be picked off by Praise. Some nice little trades going through. NRG, they've got the AC split now. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, see how long it lasts for. Gonna see Summons trying his best to defend this push coming through. You're gonna see Ghost trying their best trades coming in left and right. Kills coming in all directions. Now when the dust clears, it Summons. Hits the shots he needs to hit. That's gonna give him C, but for how long? Very quickly, our two members, of course, were on the quickest spawns of the first half.
Explosives will be joining him. They know the Ghost. They want to push through on the C. Look at player number 6. That's going to be Mental, kind of weaseling his way through. He gets caught off guard, though, as Monkeys will take him out. That's a good win. And I think Ghost is kind of catching on to those little stragglers as now Solars. This is going to be a big win between Solars and Monkeys. Why? Well, because if Solars loses, he's going to be on his last life, and he could potentially be putting NRG on the last round of this half in a constant 5v4. But luckily, Solars is going to clutch up. A good win from him. As Ghost looking to claw their way back, but NRG, how many times? I mean, really, literally every round, it seems NRG has this massive point lead, and then Ghost turns it back in their favor.
I mean, like I said, a map like Vasgar, things get so crazy, can get so hectic, so back and forth, and big fight ensuing. Looks like it's starting to favor NRG, but Sleeper's there. Kills coming in left and right. It looks like it's starting to favor Ghost, but no, now a 2v2. Again, NRG with the point lead. Sleeper unfortunately runs out of ammo. Can he get this fight against Explosive? Both players taking so much damage. It is Sleeper in the end who does get the kill. And as you mentioned, Solar's down to 0 respawns. Chaos down to 0 respawns as well.
And that just comes to show NRG's been slaying out. Going into this round, I mean, I think the lowest player on Ghost was sitting at 3 out of 4 respawns. And you see how low they have dropped. That's simply because NRG has been doing such a great job with slaying out onto the side of Ghost. And now Ghost, they have to be a little bit careful here, especially if you're Chaos, as he's going to try and push through. Solars, though, unfortunately takes himself out, but will take Sleeper down in return. Solars is now out, so it's going to be a 5v4, but for how long? As NRG so close to winning, but Ghost looking to take it for themselves. A break on Bravo will happen. That's going to be Explosive. It's a good heads-up play rotating through, but he's going to be met by Monkeys.
Yeah, big play by Explosive, almost with a trip cap. Ends up getting one down. Members of NRG almost getting trip cap. They still have that B-Hill. If they can hold on to that, that will be the round. The kills do come in. NRG finishes the fight where it needs to be finished. That brings this to a 2-0 scoreline.
That's a really good win.
They got close, though. Ghost got that wipe. The hill started dinging. Everything was looking good to once again kind of steal a round away, but NRG clutched up when they had to. Explosive made a big play getting that break onto the neutral hill, winning that fight, keeping his team in it. So
I was saying, like, you know, NRG absolutely slayed out in the round number 4. I mean, they had to, and they knew that. Ghost, like I said, I think it was Sleeper who was sitting out at 3 out of 4 lives. By the end of it, 2 players were immediately gone. They were out of lives on the side of Ghost, and then, of course, NRG ended up finishing off with a full team wipe. So good stuff from them and showing they have that composure, especially in those moments where they do matter. Solar was on his last life for the longest time, but he was still taking players out for Ghost. And now we are going to be all 0-0, evened up at 2-2 going into the second half. And a big fight breaking out as Summons getting some nice shots on Dezo and Identives, but in the end, he's going to get dropped. Ghost with a good initial.
Yeah, you're going to see, obviously, on long spawns right now where they choose to move next. Despite NRG being down in numbers, they're still on sort of both the hills. It's going to be Solar's getting a kill on Identiv's. Numbers still favoring it, Ghost Gaming, but it's NRG who have the what's it called, the objectives, right? They haven't, like I said, Ghost hasn't really gotten the best of these numbers thus far. NRG's starting to make him pay as well. As they get off spawn, they get to move forward a little bit.
Like I said, it's just because NRG's sending those stragglers out. I mean, they got good map awareness. They know where Ghost is going to be. And because Ghost sticks together so well, you can easily send one player down a lane to go and lock basically a free hill, if you will. And, I mean, you look at F, that was locked down by Mental. He was all by himself. Nobody from Ghost was even there to challenge. There's going to be 4 players up top. They're going to be challenging Delta. And they're going to be met up now with 4 strong for NRG. So this is going to be a bloodbath, but a good opportunity for Ghost to kind of hurt a little bit of NRG's respawn economy, but also open the door for D. Let's see if they can do so, but it's looking all red as NRG coming through and slaying out Ghost. 3 players go down. Dezo and Monkey's going to be up. Monkey's now caught in a hard place, but he will take out Explosive, but 2 players will be putting him on the back foot.
Monkey's trying to move forward. He's going to be absolutely surrounded. NRG have built now about a 40-point lead and counting. Members of Ghost Gaming are going to drop. You're going to see Sleeper. 2 members in front of him. Mental going to get that up. It's going to be 3 dead for Ghost. And if you're Ghost, you got to make a decision now. Do you spawn back into this? You still have 3 members, or 3 or 4. You're going to see Identiv's choosing not to spawn back in. I think his teammates are going to elect to do the same. I like that decision. Obviously, we're only in the first round. Let him have it. Try to answer back next. And NRG retakes that lead.
Ghost, despite a strong slaying ability off the initial, just wasn't enough energy. Like you said, objectively, they've been playing well. And that's really been the biggest difference maker for him. Summons is having a fantastic game, sitting at a total of 23 kills. He's been the guy kind of in the mix, right, nonstop, just challenging members of Ghost left and right. He really hasn't cared too much. Dezo on Ghost has really been trying to keep the team alive, but at the end, it's still a close game. You know, Ghost is still very much so in this. They've had a lot of great moments, but there is no question. NRG controls the initial. They control the mid game. Ghost always finds a way to kind of slay out towards the end or get that trip cap at the end, but Ghost is definitely struggling off the initial and mid game, 100%.
Yeah, you can see how Ghost Gaming decides to answer back. Of course, it's kind of a big swing round, right? This is one of the situations where now you either tie it up 3-3 or you go down 4-2. And again, this is the map that Ghost Gaming needs to win to keep themselves in this series. If you're Ghost, obviously you notice the big mental difference between a 3-3 scoreline and a 4-2 scoreline, right? Your margin of error just becomes lower and lower as time goes on.
You have to be flawless.
So Ghost needs to have a big round in front of him. Looks like NRG's getting aggressive. Once again, hopping on 2 of the 3 initials early. They continue to just outplay them when it comes to the objectives. They're getting aggressive now in these fights, too. You're going to see Praise move forward towards the tank. Up north with Ghost Gaming, they're waiting. Pencil strikes first, gets a kill into Chaos. Uh-oh. And now Ghost, not even a single hill they named. Looks like they're starting to win this fight. Revive's coming in, though.
Oh.
Clutch revive after clutch revive.
Big win from NRG.
Looks like Ghost is going to come out there with numbers, but you see in the kill feed, it's still Summons and Solars getting the party started the best they can. Summons with yet another fight. He has been so strong and so consistent throughout this match, and now Chaos left between Praise and Summons is going to try his best to just get out of there. For him, his player is off spawn, so he's going to be met by Monkeys. But they know their home hill is just being surrounded by NRG members.
Great stuff from NRG off that fight. Another one is going to ensue onto D. And Chaos, he's going to have a couple members just up above. As he gets aggressive, he's going to hit a couple players with a brick. Sleeper will take Solars out, and that forces Summons and his partner back. As Ghost doing what they can to try and make it happen. 1 and 6 will be fighting, so that's going to be Mental in a fight himself, and he is going to take over that win. As you heard the dong, as Ghost trying to go for a domination themselves. Like you said, the swing round, very important win for Ghost, and they continue to fight tooth. Now, currently they will win. They're in control of D and E, and it seems as if they're starting to slow it down just a little bit. Main bloodbath is over. But that D hill has been the main point of all the engagements down. But I'm liking this angle for Mental. He's looking like he's wanting to go on the flank.
Yeah, you're going to see him kind of noticing that, getting out of dodge. Ghost doing a good job now of holding down this 2-cap for as long as they have. That's going to now give them the lead. If they can manage to get some numbers here and push forward, that would be very, very key as we head towards the late stage. You're going to see NRG hop on E.
Yeah, the Summons.
Looks like he's going to be met by, it looks like Monkeys. Big play from Ghost. Identives, Chaos, Monkeys all at the bottom of your screen making plays. And Monkeys wins the big
good
fight, needs to
win.
win, gets a double kill onto both Summons and Solars. That should probably give Ghost Gaming this round. That's going to give them the 2 cap as we head towards the 200 mark.
And now you're NRG.
Choice, yeah.
I mean, you're going to be spawning in, or you're thinking about spawning in. Explosives hasn't even spawned in at
Yeah, I
this
think
point.
Explosive choosing not to. Like I said, NRG does a good job of you know, being disciplined when it comes to not using those respawns all the time, not running out. So Explosive are going to just say kind of chalk the round up. Of course, when you're towards that 200 point mark, there's just not. It's not a smart play to throw that respawn away and to risk that, especially when you have a lead. So it's a big round from Ghost. We talked about the swing round, right? How important that round is going to be as Ghost continues to kind of claw back and claw into this. Now we get a long shot. We had double snipes last week. If we get double snipes this week, that would be very, very fun.
Those double snipes were nasty.
And we're gonna get it again.
And I think we saw it was a lot of great plays on training grounds, is where we saw a lot of snipes really taking play. So one of our I think it was Fire and Ice was just absolutely slaying out with the snipes.
And now we have both Snipe and Incent on each team.
And Mentals with the snipe along with Identives. Oh, I love this fight.
Both these players, too, very, very good with the power weapon.
There was 2 fighting back and forth last time we were watching on Vasgar last week, and they were sniping out on this long fight, and one of them was just absolutely decimating the other. And finally, he said, "Look, you take the snipe," and he handed it up to one of his teammates. Like, for the life of me, I can't remember who it was, but Identives. Oh, how did that not hit?
I know he wants that one back.
Nice.
But he makes up for it with the headshot on the Solars. Look how close he's getting with the snipe up in the battle. I like what I'm seeing. Identives. Can he do it again? And he takes out Mental. That's going to be the snipe of NRG. And then he's still moving forward, and he's still making plays with the shotgun. Identives is going off with both snipe and his shotgun.
Oh, and now Explosive, yeah, he's in a bad position. And Identives should easily be able to pick this up. Yeah, there's the drop that's going to happen. Good stuff from Identives. Man, head full of steam after he missed that first shot. Like you said, wanted to take it back, but he capitalized.
Look at Summons.
Summons, though, yeah, onto Dezo and Monkeys, right? Even he's trying to pull an Identities himself. Despite all of that, though, NRG still in control of the objectives. Oh, no. All right, good win. Chaos luckily able to come through. Identities missed at least one shot. Thought he was going to be in some trouble. Now he's just going to be peering over on E, thinking, is it really free? Do I want to take it? And yes, sir, it will be, so he'll easily be able to take control of that. I think for the first time, Ghost will have control over 2 hills. Now NRG looking to strike back. Let's see how they do. As Solars and Mental looking to potentially go forward.
You see a little bit of a stalemate, but it is NRG now taking back control of that 2 cap. So many big plays by Ghost early, but again, if you're not getting on those objectives, getting all those points when you need to, it's all for nothing. As now Dezo sitting on his last spawn. Dezo Knight goes down here. It's going to be so tough for Ghost Gaming to continue forward.
Chaos just taking a barrage of bullets. So is Dezo. NRG pushes forward. Dezo on his last life. That's going to be absolutely rough. Now he's already out, so that's going to be a constant 5v4.
Yeah, and a team like NRG, I mean, you know they're not very likely to lose that kind of advantage, especially when you give it to them permanently.
And they already had such a nice lead. It's only a matter of time. Good shots from Summons, praise for the finish. And now Ghost is going to be trying to make these breaks possible. It's not going to happen. NRG going to be in the driver's seat, 1 round away from sending Ghost out of the bracket, solidifying their 3rd time, or at least actually their 4th or 5th time in Grand. Every time NRG's been in Grand Finals. But regardless, though, Rise, Fire and Ice is now over, and I believe it was Rise who ended up taking over the victory. So Fire and Ice is out. They will not see their 3rd week in a row in Grand Finals. Rise for the first time in Season 2. Emergence days. Finally in week number 6. We'll take over a Grand Final spot, and Ryan, this play from Identives.
Under duress, too. You saw him getting shot at.
Yeah.
Great play coming in from Identives. And as you said, Rise Nation moving on to the Grand Finals. We didn't see them last week. They made sure to make up for it during this week. Very, very dominant map number 2 from what I'm hearing as well. 5-1 on training grounds, which I believe was Fire and Ice's pick, too.
It was.
So to beat up your opponent's map pick like that, you got to be feeling good. But now back to our other semifinal match. We're going to find out which team will meet Rise Nation in the finals. NRG now find themselves on map and match point.
At this point, I'm just worried about respawn economy, Ryan. Ghost is hurting for at least Chaos, Dezo, and Monkeys. Jeez, I did this. He just does not care.
Oh, and he got flashed, Incend, everything in between, but it seems like Ghost are the ones getting the numbers.
Yep, Chaos is going to be downed. You know, you should get picked up, you would think.
Oh, yeah, there he goes. Back with the scope in his hand.
Oh.
Mental facing him as well. He's going to get a tag on the Sleeper.
Ooh. Nice shot on the Sleeper from Mental. The focus attention on Identives, and a good shot from him.
No, don't do it to him.
Head on a swivel. Chaos will push up. Mental, not a care in the world, finally is going to get dropped and kicked for good measure. But a good hold for NRG. Just every member of NRG is scary, right? I mean, you never know who's going to be able to turn up in those moments, and that's why they're confident enough to kind of split their resources out. Identives, though, this is the man we have to talk about, Ryan. It started a couple rounds ago, especially when the snipe got in his hand. His confidence is through the roof.
You see Summons making plays all day. It's now going to be dropped. NRG still maintaining that lead, but of course with Ghost hopping on both of these hills, that should change. You see now NRG choosing what hill to push next. It looks like E is the one they've chose. Snipe back in the hands of Mental. Of course on both ends you have Praise at 0 respawns, Dezo at 0 respawns as well.
Ooh, nice body.
Dezo has that snipe too, so you can see he's kind of on that back line with sort of a backline weapon, trying to make an impact at the distance. He needs to stay on the map at all costs. If you're NRG, you're hunting. You're looking for him.
Oh, he can't take the shot though. Dezo now backing up. He still stays alive, but Identitas and Sleeper on a Mental and Explosives. Now Solars. That's going to be 3 players down on the side of NRG. As once again, Monkeys comes through on Praised. And Ghost
Praise out.
Praised is now out. It's going to be a 5v4. Dezo's still up. Ghost now. Potentially, yeah, I think all players are done.
NRG's not spawning back in. They're saving it for the final round.
We're going to a round 9, baby.
Once again, we're at a round 9. We've seen Ghost take so many round 9s. NRG, obviously, one of the clutchest teams we've ever seen. They're not shy whatsoever when it comes to the final round. You can't ask for anything better than these two teams going at it. Once we get that scoreboard up, we'll take a look at kind of the respawn economy heading into the round and sort of see where these teams stack.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest story, too.
I think we have both teams. I think we'll be on one. Praise will have 1, and I believe is it Dezo on the other end who has 1? Some player on Ghost also has 1. That's got to be a factor as well, right? You obviously want to force that permanent 5v4 as quick as you can.
Ooh, and the snipe has actually been locked. That's been a big factor, too, for Ghost, right? I mean, Identities. So, choosing to lock it for the last round. And yeah, we look at the respawn economy. Dezo's going to be on 2 lives, Praised on 2 lives, so they've got to really prioritize how they want to engage and go through on these fights. Ghost working as a unit, though. They're going to be working that lower side. After running through F, they're going to go and backtrack to join up with their teammate of Dezo. Maybe that's because they know Dezo's so low in lives, and they don't want NRG to run through him and put himself in a 1v, X situation. But this is going to be the first real test here onto E. Ghost up top, NRG down low. And whoever makes the first strike, they better make it count because they cannot afford to give away the lives. And there it is. Dezo strikes first on the summons with the instant.
Counter instant comes in. Identities is going to be dropped, but the revive does come in. Ghost gave me the slight advantage early, but here comes Solars. Things are looking good now for NRG. Ghost trying to answer back. The revives come through. Is it enough? Solar is taking us so low. Manages to stay up. Summons gets a kill. Praise is going to be dropped as well. It's going to be big. It's going to Praise in his last life. Dezo still managing to stay up. He's the player on Ghost with low lives, so now Praised has to be so careful. This is early on in the round still. There's still plenty of time.
Dezo's done such a great job. Whether it's the Lance or the snub in the background, he knows exactly where he stands. Solars will get dropped. He'll get picked back up eventually, but actually, excuse me, he got completely.
That was his last down. Yeah, he got down off early. And look at Ghost. Great Lancer work coming through. You're gonna see NRG begin to backtrack over the D hill. The teamwork from Ghost has been so strong, but NRG is continuing to rotate. They still have a point lead.
They're rotating, but they're not slaying out.
And again, if you're hitting the hill, sometimes it doesn't matter. Ghost Gaming doing a great job slaying, but not hopping on the hills and not taking those numbers and doing something with it. Now, because we're in quick spawns, NRG's very very quickly back to full strength. Again, the only player that you have to worry about is the player on your screen right now. And you can see the rotation coming in from Ghost now. They're starting to head over towards D. They have both Solars and Summons there waiting.
Luckily, though, Praised.
Yeah, the longer
no
this
one's
takes.
going to be home for him, though. Yeah, the longer this takes, right? I mean, the points are really starting to rack up against Ghost.
NRG continuing to hold the best they can. Explosive in middle. Identim's going to go for the push. Sleeper gets 1. Sleeper gets 2. This is a huge kill. Dezo.
That's 3.
It's going to drop as well. It's going to be, what, 3 dead?
3 dead.
Praised. If he goes out, that's going to be it. Tripcat coming in for Ghost Gaming.
Ghost Gaming's looking to take this to a 3rd map on Exhibit. They're on the cusp of taking it. If they play this properly, there's no way NRG is able to win it, but NRG still getting some points.
Praise stayed alive somehow. He's still up.
And he's going for D.
And they end up getting the hill. Mental gets 1. Solar gets a down. Solar gets a 2nd. Another big play coming in. Praise with 2 members in front of him. If he goes out, he's going to be dead. But I believe Solars is continuing. And Praise does get a kill on Identivs.
This is way too close. E now is going to be captured.
And they've held on.
235 and counting. And NRG going for the domination. Monkeys knows the extent of what he needs to do. And yeah, it's going to be over. Chaos pushes back, and that's it. NRG takes it. And their back was against the wall, Ryan. There's no reason why NRG won that except for those clutch-up moments towards the end. Hey, objectively, you pointed out, right? They were getting slayed out in the beginning. Ghost was doing such a great job. For the longest time, who was it on the side of NRG? I believe it was it Solars who was on that last life? One of them.
Praise on last life. Then
Praise
he got
on his
surrounded.
last life.
We had the camera on him, but he managed to actually somehow get one of those kills, too. He also capped a hill while he's being lit up by Lancers. Make sure he gets that objective. Those final points ended up being so crucial.
But it's like NRG objectively, the entirety of this game, for the entirety of those 9 rounds, NRG played so well objectively. They're rotating through, like I've been pointing out through the entirety, and I'll recap it once again. Ghost love to work as a cohesive unit, and it works out, especially if they put themselves in those, those 3v4, or excuse me, those 1v3 situations or whatever, where they have the 3, and of course NRG sitting at the 1. But NRG did such a good job being a thorn in the side, working those hills, sending one player out, knowing the lanes, knowing where Ghost was going to be. They would just send one player out. He's got a free hill. He captures it. Now Ghost is thinking, all right, now we got to rotate over here. We got to allocate resources. And by the time they do so, NRG is already sending one solo member over to another hill. Sometimes it didn't work out, especially towards the first half. Ghost was, totally wiping the floor with NRG. But regardless, though, in the end, NRG, that strategy works out. It was close, but that was a great round.